This morning at about 5:45 I left, and it was icy. I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm just getting a little tired of it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little tired of it. Yeah, it's just been kind of crazy. Lots of good stuff going on, though. Had great meetings with some people the other day, real estate people, great meetings. Continuing on our entrepreneurial network, looking forward to that. Mark Hinton will be here next month on the 11th. You don't want to miss out on that. And Rain Church is going to a Wednesday night service, not regular like a Sunday morning where we're teaching all the time, but there'll be prayer and there'll be worship. There'll be prayer once a month and worship once a month, and then there'll be different aspects of things. And the youth are moving over to the Matson building, which formerly the Square Dance Center. Crazy stuff there. I had a dream there 40-some years ago, that the place was full of people when we were meeting in there as a church, and now we own it. It's amazing what God does on those kind of things sometimes. So anyway, great to see all of you guys. Let's say hi to a few people here. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Pastor Jeremy, Pastor Jonathan, Pastor Ray, Pastor Jerry. 5 pastors right in a row there. And let's see what else. Who else we got in there? Pastor Paul. Io's on there. Got several pastors on there. Pastor Paul from the Philippines. Be hanging out with you here in a few months. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Been like 4 years since I've been over there. So I'm looking forward to hanging out in the Philippines there. I guess the house is doing good. Anyway, great to see all of you guys. So let's talk about, let's see what else. Of course, obviously, I'm a realtor. You know that. And if we can help you out, kind of church I'm selling over in Portland. If you know anybody that needs a church in Portland, we're selling a church over in Portland, about 30,000 square foot church in Portland. And Brooke has got that one listed, and I'm going to just help her out with the referral fee, and I get to be on site and help out a little bit with that. So I found out all the legalities that I can do with getting involved in that one. So I'm excited about that. And then Joel, Pastor Joel's house on the Washougal River. If you guys know anybody that wants a house, 200 feet of river frontage there. It's going to be a cool house. It's going to go for sale on Monday. And Joel and Sarah are staying with us right now with the kids. Had 3 extra bedrooms anyway. But the reason why is because my grandkids don't do well with painting baseboards and painting things, and then 4 kids running around. Just not a good combination. Crazy. My wife's going to Israel on Monday. She's leaving me for 10 days, going to Israel on Monday. So she's going to have a great time. And then the big deal is this week, Beth Jones will be with us. She'll be speaking Sunday morning. And then Beth and Annie will be doing the women's thing. They have almost 300 ladies signed up for that. So if you're not signed up for that, get going. So in our teaching, we've been talking about pain. I want to talk to you about pain again today. Someone said that you either have the pain of regret or the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And so many people, when they get to the latter part of their life, they have the pain of regret because they shoulda, coulda, woulda. I don't have a lot of that. I have a lot of pain from failure, pain from mistakes I've made, pain from that, but I wouldn't change anything because I'm not going to be conservative in my thinking. There's nothing in my brain that will allow me to just think conservatively and just, I have to be building something. I want to build something. I love that. Paul said this. He said this crazy thing. He said, the Apostle Paul said, I glory in tribulations. Glory in tribulations? In other words, I kind of get off on it. I kind of enjoy tribulations. And I don't think he meant that in the sense of I enjoy pain. I think he meant that in the sense of what the results are when you take a risk and when you take something and you go out and you do something. I remember a time we bought our old church, which is now Bethesda Church, over by Living Hope. When we bought that church, many people were bidding on it, and paid like $700,000 for that church, which was like, can you imagine only $700,000 for a church? That's just a decent home nowadays. But I'll never forget there was people bidding on it, and people wanted it and stuff like that. And I said, look, I walk into the people that owned it, the representative, and I said, I give you $50,000 non-refundable. If I don't come up with a loan in 3 months' time or 4 months' time or whatever it was, I can't remember what it was, 3 months' time or whatever, then 50,000 is yours. And they said, okay, we'll take it. And we got it. My rear end was on the line there for 3 months or whatever it was. I mean, I have a favorable expectation that I could do it. But I remember thinking to myself, man, I am like, I mean, it seems small now, but I mean, of course, it was big back then. I mean, it might as well have been 500,000. And I'm just, I mean, I've got it all on the line, man. And I look back on that time and I think that was a great time. I loved it because there was some risk, there was some thought, there was some something to risk was on the line. And I think so many human beings we're not called to be stupid, but we're called to have faith. We're called to dare. We're called to do something. And that's going to cause you some pain sometimes, and it doesn't always work out. Vested in some crypto. Not much, a few $1,000s, but invested in some crypto. Yeah, how'd that work out for me? Invested in some in a machine that's, we'll see how it works, but crazy stuff. Someone said this, they said, your IQ plus your EQ plus your GQ equals the level of success you'll have. So your intelligence quotient, and here's the one we miss, is your emotional quotient, which is where the pain comes from, plus your God quotient equals the level of success. A lot of times we have, number one, we talked about this last Tuesday about we have people pain, but now let's talk about personal pain a little bit. Let's talk about just personal pain. In Acts chapter 20, verse 22, it says, and see now, I go bound in the Spirit to Jerusalem. This is Paul. He knew he was going to get in trouble when he went to Jerusalem. Not trouble in the sense of, he knew it would cost him something because this guy was a Jewish leader. He went against all the politics of the day and made Jesus the Lord of his life on the road to Damascus in Acts chapter 9. He knew it might even cost him his life. And they wanted to kill him and stone him and all kinds of stuff. It says, I know go bound in the Spirit to Jerusalem, not knowing the things that will happen to me there, except that the Holy Spirit testifies in every city, saying the chains and tribulations await me. My wife says, "Did you repost the video?" I don't know. I'm live. I think. Am I live? Am I live out there? So I guess I'm live. Tell me if I'm live out there. So, did something happen to my video? Tell me if I'm live. So. You guys commenting on things. Hopefully I'm live. She's texted me saying something about my video. I don't know if I'm up and running or not. So, yep. Okay. Well, I think I'm going. All right. So Paul had this personal pain, and obviously in personal pain, there's stuff that happens to us, and he had this personal pain, and he knew that things were going to happen to him, yet he did it anyway. And then there's what I call staff pain, or people that you hire that are going to, they're going to bring some things to you and different things like that also. And this happened with Paul and Barnabas. I'm talking about different pain that we're going to have to endure to be a success. In Acts chapter 15, here's Barnabas, and it says, now Barnabas was determined to take with him John Mark. Now, Barnabas and Paul were a ministry team. They were changing the world together. And Barnabas says, no, I'm taking John Mark with me. But Paul insisted that he should not take them, because he had departed from them in Pamphylia and had not gone with them to work. Then the contention became so sharp that they parted from each other, and so Barnabas took Mark and sailed to Cyprus. All right, so here's Barnabas and Paul. They had this really good thing going on. They had amazing ministry team. And Paul, now listen, I'm going to tell you the story here because you got to get this, because this is, relationship problems that happen to us, and we all go through relationship problems. People leave you, people come, people go, and we always take it personal. But here's what happened with this situation is Barnabas and Paul were this team, and they're going around, and Acts chapter 13, and they separated Barnabas and Saul for the work they called them. They were actually, to me, it looked like they were actual equal ministry partners. And somewhere John Mark came along, and he bugged out on him somewhere. I mean, he quit. I don't know. I think he quit somewhere. He gave up. Paul, the Apostle Paul's kind of like my personality. Well, they quit. I'll never have them again. They got the spirit of quitting in them. That's the way I always think about it. I tell people, if they leave, they can never come back because they got a spirit of leaving on them. That's kind of things I've done over the years. And I say that privately. I wouldn't say it publicly, but I say it privately. But John Mark quit. And so then John Mark probably gets his act together and says, well, I'm going to come along with you. And Barnabas and Paul said, hey, the little jerk, little baby ain't coming. I'm paraphrasing. The little baby's not coming again with us. I'm not taking it with us. And the contention was so great that Barnabas went his own way with John Mark, and probably, I don't know how many people he had on the ministry team did his own thing. Paul went his own way. Now, it's interesting that you never hear Barnabas' name again in the Bible, because sometimes you can't leave your power base and the people that are with you. But then the Apostle Paul follows up later, and I don't know how many years, was it 10 years or 5 years or 20 years later or whatever. He said, bring John Mark with you. So he kind of got his act together with the other guy, but we don't see Barnabas anywhere on the scene anymore. Because of that contention, it was gone. And so there's a lot of stuff that happens to us, but a lot of times the pain that we have is staff pain, or people's personalities are different. We think differently. Now, I think in some ways, we don't like it, but in some ways we should rejoice because people are independent people. And one thing I've learned about myself is if you'll just listen to what I tell you, you'll have a good life. But the reality is, I'm not your God. I can't tell you how to have a good life. And so that's a stupid statement, really, because God leads people in different directions and different ways of doing things. So a lot of times we just need to relax and just let people do things. And if you have the pain of somebody leaving you, I found that it's just part of life. I mean, it's just part of life. And you always get over it and you get through things. But does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. There's a lot of pain in that. But who am I to tell somebody that's left me the will and the destiny that God has for them? Now, the relationship can change, and it oftentimes does, because, people leave, the relationships change, and stuff happens. But people are following their destiny, their plans, their purpose. They're free moral agents. They can do what they want. So it's helped me probably a lot just to realize this is a big statement I want to tell you something about, because this is the thing, the way I think, and it's not the way everybody thinks. But if you're part of me, man, we have a covenant relationship. Let's hang out together till Jesus comes. But I've realized this is a big statement. Stop. Listen to me. If you have people underneath you, you have to listen to this statement. I'm not everybody's destination. I'm just part of most people's journey. I'm not everybody's destination. My wife, obviously, I'm her destination. She's mine. Grandkids, son, all those kind of things. And a lot of my friends are that way, too. We've decided to spend our whole lives together, And we spend it, preaching the gospel and doing things and doing ministry together and doing business together. That's the way we think. It's very rare that happens. I'm just part of most people's journey. I'm not their destination. I'm just part of most people's journey. And once you get that mentality, you'll probably be a lot happier in life. That you're not everybody's destination. You're probably just part of most people's journey. I don't know. You must be born again to enter the kingdom of heaven. And how do you do that? Paul told us that. He said in Romans 10:9-10, it said, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus, believe in your heart God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. So pray that prayer today, and God bless you in that. Now, the other thing is, I need your real estate business. If you need to sell a house, sell some commercial thing, whatever, we're here for you. We have teams and people to help you in your real estate needs. And what you do when you help me, you're helping fulfill not only for my team and the financials for my team, but also you're helping fulfill the vision helping ministry people all across the world be blessed. That's our goal, is to help ministry people, Christian workers, Christians in general, to be blessed. We want to see them blessed in a biblical way. So if I can help you in any way we can, I'd love to talk to you. Love you guys and have a fantastic